Hi, everybody. Welcome to our webcast today, Extraordinary Sights of Alaska with Princess. My name's Brian Murray, the Director of Travel here at AAA, and I'm delighted you're spending some time with us. You know, this COVID-19 pandemic has hit the world hard, and one of those areas is the travel industry. There have been many disappointed travelers whose spring and summer vacations have either been canceled or postponed. However, we're all resilient, and we'll get through this pause. What we want to do today is share some great information about travel, and while we aren't ready just yet, we want to help you dream and inspire you to think about all the possibilities of your next vacation. I want to share that you're all in listen-only mode. However, if you do have any questions, please feel free to type them in the question box, and we'll be happy to entertain them at the end of the program. If we don't get to your question, don't worry, we'll reach out to you after the program and address all the questions that we didn't get to. I also want to offer all the participants in the webcast today a $100 per booking incentive if you make a new reservation between now and May 22nd for travel in 20 or 21. So, who wants to dream about Alaska? I do. Let's get going. I'd like to welcome Debbie Hagee, our BDM for Princess Cruises. Debbie, I'm so delighted you're joining us today. Thanks so much for participating.
Oh, Brian, it's my pleasure. You know Alaska and how I feel about it. It is my favorite destination. So it's easy for me to talk about. And if it's okay, I can start now, Brian.
Absolutely. Thanks, Debbie.
Okay. Alaska for 2021. It is a very short season up in Alaska. It runs from May 9th through the middle of September. And there's so many different choices when it comes to Alaska. I remember when I first came to Princess way back 23 years ago, and they handed me the Alaska brochure and said, you're going to be responsible for this piece of the world. And I took a look at that brochure and I said, my goodness, this is so complicated. So my job today is to kind of break it out for you into little pieces in order for you to make the best decision. So what we're going to talk about today is why Princess to Alaska. We're going to talk about the geography. We're going to talk about our land and sea packages. And I'm also going to show you some of the 5 Princess-owned lodges. Because even though we are a cruise company, we own and operate our own lodges and our rail cars, motor coaches, everything in Alaska. And it's all fit together for you perfectly. Princess is #1 in Alaska. Last year, we celebrated our 50th anniversary in going to this beautiful destination, and we've been #1 in the last 14 straight years. And we put the packages together for you, the land and the sea. We own, as I said, our own rail cars. The cruise, if you're going to do land and sea, the cruise is always a 7-day cruise, and the land gets a little complicated. And the land can be anything from 3 up to 8 nights on the land. So one of the most important questions that when you sit down with your AAA advisor or sit down over the phone today is how long can you be gone? So if you were interested in doing land and sea, there's some choices that you're going to eliminate right away. One of them is the round trip 7-night Seattle itinerary. And we also offer a 10-night round trip San Francisco itinerary. Now, those are both beautiful itineraries, but if you were interested in doing the land as well, you are going to be eliminating these 2 options. In order to do land and sea, we call these the Voyage of the Glacier itineraries, and these are 7-night cruises, and you would start or end in Vancouver, or start and end in Whittier. You can see Whittier, it's the bottom right-hand corner. Unique to Princess, only 1 ship can dock in Whittier. Imagine if you've cruised before, being the only ship in a port. So these are open jaw itineraries, one-way itineraries that allow you to connect to the land. So let's take a look at the maps too. Let's take a look. You'll get a better sense of what we're talking about. So let's start on the left, the bottom right-hand side of the screen, excuse me, and we'll start from Vancouver. and we will go through the Inside Passage and take you up to the port of Ketchikan. And then the next day we'll move on to the state capital, which is Juneau, and then on to Skagway. And on the Princess itineraries, we have 2 glacier viewing experiences on every sailing, which is also, you don't get that just on the 7-night round trip Seattle. So we would continue to travel north, and we would stop into Glacier Bay National Park. We'd be there all day long, and then we would continue on and go up to College Fjord. If you were doing that is considered to be a northbound sailing. If you were doing a southbound sailing, you would arrive in the ship in Whittier, and then Whittier would take you down to Hubbard Glacier and Glacier Bay. So either way you choose, northbound or southbound, you have those 2 glacier viewing days to experience. And then we dock in Whittier. Now, the other cruise lines, because there are other cruise lines up there, they dock in Seward, Alaska. And we don't even show Seward on the map. It's way down on the coastline. In order for them to dock in Seward, they need to get you to the train in Anchorage. And that takes 4 hours on Alaskan Highway. Seward to Anchorage is 110 miles. Where the difference with Princess is that we dock in Whittier. In Whittier, you'll see, look at that little line. It looks like a little zipper. That represents the Alaskan Railroad. Whittier is right on the rail. And that is an exclusive to Princess. It's called our Direct to the Wilderness Rail Service. And it takes you from the ship to the Denali area in the same day. So it gives you more time to explore, and then you have less time in transit. So the land, you can see where the red stars are. Let's go as far north as you can right here to Denali. You see the red star. That is the Denali Princess Wilderness Lodge. And then at the south side of the park, you see we've got the Mount McKinley Princess Wilderness Lodge. Then if you go down to the Kenai Peninsula, you can see that we've got the Kenai Princess Wilderness Lodge. And right next to the gates of Wrangell St. Elias National Park, we've got the Copper River Princess Wilderness Lodge. So those are our lodges. And as I said, the land can be 3 nights, starting at 3 nights, 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 8 nights on the land, combined with the 7-night cruise. So you have to decide first, how long can I be gone? That will be the biggest help when you're talking to your AAA travel advisor. That'll determine which one of the multitude of tours that we have for you to take. Now, if you've never cruised before, this is the Inside Passage. And I show this slide so people that haven't cruised can see how close they are to land. Over 50% in the past, over 50% of the passengers on board these ships have been first-time cruisers. And they may not have been that interested in cruising, but they are interested in this destination. So that is how close we are to the land. And all through the Inside Passage, you'll be able to spot whales. We've got whale spotters up on the bridge deck, and the captain or the first officers will make an announcement whenever they spot whales along the way. The 3 ports of call that we travel to on the majority of our cruises, first of all, it's Juneau, which is Alaska's capital, and Mendenhall, home to the Mendenhall Glacier. Skagway provides fascinating insight into Alaskan gold rush history. And Ketchikan, the salmon capital, embodies the rich native Alaskan heritage. Here we are, beautiful Juneau, boasts towering mountains as a backdrop. And it's so interesting to note that even as a state capital, you cannot drive in and out of Juneau. You're landlocked by that beautiful towering mountain. You can only get in by water or get into the state capital by air. And here, right outside the city limits, is the Mendenhall Glacier. And there'll be multiple tours for you to choose in the 3 ports of call before you arrive into these cities. Here's Skagway, one of my favorite towns. It's only 800 year-round residents, all connected by these little boardwalks right here. And right outside of Skagway, this is the magnificent scenery. This is Ketchikan, and this is only 5 blocks from where we dock our ships. And it's important to note that Princess does dock. We don't drop anchor out in the harbor and have you tender in to these ports. We've been there, it'll be 51 years, and we've got the best parking. But here, this is called Creek Street, and it's a charming little area. As I said, a quick stroll from the ship. It used to be full of brothels and saloons, and today it's a charming little walk with coffee shops and stores. And right across the street, there's a lumberjack show that I highly recommend. Glacier Bay National Park. The state of Alaska only allows 2 ships per day into Glacier Bay National Park, 1 ship at a time, and Princess has the permits to get you into Glacier Bay National Park. It was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1992 and was named one of the 7 cruise wonders of the world by Condé Nast magazine. And here is how close our beautiful ships get to the glacier. Right at the entrance of the park, you'll feel the ship slow down ever so slightly. And in tandem with the ship, we will have a pilot boat, and we will actually throw a rope over to the pilot boats, and the 2 park rangers will jump on board, and they will be with you the entire time that you're outside taking in this magnificent scenery. They will have a microphone, so you'll be able to hear them. The AAA agents can send you a piece of the most frequently asked and answered questions by the Park Service. There we are. I just love looking at that. And as I said, we have 2 glacier viewing days on these 7-day itineraries. This is Hubbard Glacier, which you would have on a southbound sailing. You're going to lose your breath at the sight of massive Hubbard Glacier. Its tallest point above water soars to roughly 350 feet. And this is College Fjord, and that would be available on the northbound sailings. It's home to 16 of the Ivy League glaciers. Princess brings more of Alaska on board with our North to Alaska program. If you wanted to go fishing, we've got a magnificent program called Cook My Catch. So if you've gone fishing during the day, you're going to catch salmon or trout, and we will bring your fish back to the ship, and they will prepare it in the galley, and then it'll be served to you that evening in the dining room. This woman is my favorite down in the left-hand corner. This is Libby Riddles, and Libby is the first woman that won the Alaskan Iditarod. She comes on board every one of our ships in Juneau in the late afternoon, and she does a presentation on the Alaskan Iditarod. And she's known to be bringing a dog or 2 with her. There we have the park rangers that are with you for the entire time in Glacier Bay. We have 2 onboard naturalists that are with you for the entire week, and they'll be doing presentations on Alaska and there to answer any of your questions. And here's one of my favorites. This is called Puppies in the Piazza. The Piazza is our main hotel lobby, so to speak. And we bring the pups on in Skagway, and they're corralled in the atrium for you to play with and to learn how they grow, what they eat, how they train for the Iditarod. I want you to know, though, we count the puppies, so there'll be no taking pups home. Discovery at Sea. We signed a few years back with both Animal Planet and the Discovery Channel. And anytime you see their logos in our itineraries or on our shore excursions, note that these programs have been endorsed or created by these two famous brands. And here, folks, is Whittier. Remember when I said we were right on that rail system? If you can just make out, I know it kind of blends together, but the glass Ultra Dome rail car is just walking distance, a real short walk, to our beautiful ship, all nestled in Whittier. That is how close we are. So you'll see there's little letters on the trains. You would be assigned to a specific car. If you were doing the cruise first, we would have you come over to the train at a specified time. If you were going to Denali, you may be on the A car. If you were going to McKinley first, you might go to the B car, whichever way it would be. It's exclusive to Princess. Everyone here is a Princess passenger. And then we quickly leave Whittier and head up north. And that gives you a very good picture of the train with its outdoor platform and Ultra Dome car. Here we are leaving Whittier. And it takes, if we were leaving the ship today and headed direct to Denali, we would be on the train ride today from 8 to 9 hours on the train. That's the upstairs of the train where you've all got assigned seating. And note that we cannot take any luggage here with you. The only thing, because of the Ultra Dome, it's not set up for storage here. The only thing you can take is something that's going to fit underneath that seat. So anything you need, and your luggage is separately trucked to your lobby, to your hotel, right directly to your room. On the train car, we know you're coming. We own the lodges. We know you're coming. You don't get, each car has 98 passengers. So when you arrive at Denali, the Wilderness Lodge at Denali, you don't check in. Everything is given to you on board the train, and your luggage goes direct to your room. Downstairs, this is our dining car area, and everything is freshly prepared. No box lunches. We've got a galley here, so everything is done. And here we are. All of the Princess Lodges were specifically built by us. They have all situated by riverbanks. This is our largest lodge with 650 rooms, and all of the lodges have a lot of similarities. Beautiful fireplaces, multiple places for you to dine, indoor dining, outdoor dining, all of them by the riverbanks. All of them have fire pits outside, beautiful areas for you to just relax. And that is a 15-minute walk into Denali National Park. We are the closest to the park, but we also have complimentary shuttle service in and out. One thing to consider is we have a tour. The land portions have tours built into our packages. And one of the tours is at Denali, and it is called the Natural History Tour, which is approximately 4 hours in length. Or if you are going to be at Denali for 2 nights, you might consider the longer Tundra Tour into the park. The Tundra Tour is 8 to 9 hours into the park with a box lunch. And I'm going to show you the park so you can kind of make a decision here, which if you're going to be there for 2 nights. So this is the park, the roadmap to the park. And the Natural History Tour will take you down to mile marker 30 and turn around. You get off the bus multiple times along the way. There's guides that are waiting for you to take you into the Savage Cabin or the trailhead. They will be waiting for you along the way. If you were going to consider do the Tundra Tour, the Tundra Tour will take you down to mile marker 62, so much deeper into the park. However, we are limited by numbers by the National Park Services, how many people can go down to mile 62. So if it's something that you would like to do, make sure that you tell your AAA travel advisor as early as possible so they can book that for you. And here is our Mount McKinley Princess Wilderness Lodge. This is a unique property, only 41 miles away from the base of the mountain. We are as close as you're going to get in just magnificent scenery. Again, a lot of similarities, the fireplaces, the multiple places to dine. This is our wilderness treehouse that was built by Animal Planet a few years ago, and we do treehouse trivia there. If you're interested, you might be able to find that episode on Netflix, Treehouse Masters. This is one of our smallest boutique hotels. This is the Kenai Princess Wilderness Lodge on the Kenai Peninsula. The Kenai Princess has only 86 rooms, and again, situated right on the riverbank. But this lodge is unique. It's got every room has a screened-in porch, a wood-burning fireplace, and those are the views. That's the view from the Kenai back deck. The Copper River Wilderness Lodge, again, very small lodge at 85 rooms, right at the gates of Wrangell St. Elias National Park. And that became a national park in 1983. It's home to 9 out of the 16 highest peaks in the United States. And it's very close to the Ketchikan historical mines for day tours. But look at that scenery out those windows, just beautiful. And the view from the back deck. This is a chart that's not meant to confuse you. It should help determine when you want to go. Remember, I said it was a very short season. AAA agents have a copy of this map too, so if you'd like a copy, they can also send this to you. The temperatures, I've been there in May, and it says right here at the top 34 to 57. Well, nothing's really average anymore. So I was up there, the last time I was up there, I remember calling my husband home in Syracuse, and he had the fireplace on, and it was in Denali, and it was 70 degrees. So it's the average is there just to assist, but it's not always accurate. When's the best time if you were interested in whale sightings? The peak whale season is spottings is in July, but you can see whales all season. If you were interested in seeing the fall foliage, which is just the beautiful oranges and yellows reflected in that water through the inside passage, best time to go for that would be late August and September. The most daylight hours would be June and July, when they have 22 hours of daylight. If you want to see the northern lights, perhaps you might want to go as late as possible in September. And I would also recommend going northbound, because as you travel northbound, you would be continuing to lose or gain more nighttime. So you'd be able to see the northern lights. Bear sightings, they're more active in May and June. The animals, a lot of them have been hibernating. They're hungry and they are out, and you haven't had the 22 hours of daylight yet. So they're not as likely to be hiding. You can spot them quicker because the foliage is not as deep. Fishing seasons all the way through, with peak being June and July. Off-peak pricing would be in May and September. One of my favorite times to go is the very end of May. And then families, June, July, and August, just when you would expect when the schools are out. AAA has their own tours with us that you will not find in our 2021 brochure. These are exclusive to AAA, and they are AAA Tour 14. It could be Land After or Land Before. It is a 7-night cruise. It is 4 nights on the land. And because you're purchasing Tour 14, we have 2 breakfasts and 2 dinners included on the land. Because the ships, all of the meals are included. On the land portion, the meals are not included on every tour. On the ship, the excursions are not included. On the land, we have multiple tours built in for you, so they're opposite each other. But this is AAA Tour 14 North or 14 South. We also have, if you wanted one extra night on the land, AAA Tour 15, and that can be land after or land before. And it is 5 nights. It is 2 nights Denali, 2 nights McKinley, 1 night Fairbanks. It has 3 breakfasts included and 2 dinners. And the AAA travel advisor can send you these flyers because this is the only literature on these 2 tours. AAA vacations. Because you're purchasing your trip through AAA on any Princess cruise, we'd like to give you a special gift. We'd like to give you $50 per cabin onboard spending money on any 7-night cruise. We'd also like to give you specialty dining on the days the ship is in port. That would be at our Crown Grill Steakhouse or Sabatini's, our Italian style. And the value of that dinner is $29 per person for the first 2 passengers. Because you're booking with AAA, we'd also like to offer preferred check-in on embarkation. And the value of the AAA vacations package is $108 per cabin. We've got a new program that was introduced, and I'm really excited about this. This is our Princess Plus program. And this is our program. It started early March, and then it kind of got lost a little bit because of world circumstances. But on Princess with Princess, we're going to always offer this to our guests. This is our all-inclusive beverage package, including the 18% gratuity, Wi-Fi, and gratuities for the crew will be included in your package. Now, what does our all-inclusive beverage package include? It includes bottled water, specialty coffees. It also includes alcoholic soda and alcoholic beverages, up to $12 per drink, up to $15 a day. And we do have Wi-Fi, unlimited Wi-Fi. We've got the fastest Wi-Fi at sea, and gratuities for the staff. But if that package did not interest you, if you didn't feel that that would be something that you would want, we also have what we call Princess Savers. So Princess Savers would be our low fare only option, which would not include the beverage package or so there's beverage package or the Wi-Fi. If you only wanted the Wi-Fi, you could add it once you were on board. So we've got 2 different prices for you, Princess Plus or Princess Savers. If you've served in the military, we would like to thank you. You would show your copy of your DD 214 to your AAA advisor, and anytime you sailed with Princess, we would like to offer you onboard credit. On this sailing of a 7-day sailing, it would be $100 for you in credit. And that is my last slide for today. How are we doing with questions, Brian? Do we have any questions?
We do, Debbie. Wow, what a great presentation. I want to go. The scenery, beautiful. All the service, second to none with Princess. So you helped me dream, and you've inspired me. So a win-win on that, Deb. So thank you. Yeah, we do have a couple questions. The first one is, can one person in the cabin choose Princess Plus and the other person take the Princess Saver program?
That's interesting, Brian. If there's 2 people in the cabin, both have to choose one program or the other. So with 2, you could both have to have Princess Plus or Princess Savers. The interesting thing about this, for example, we're traveling at Thanksgiving, and I'm taking my family, and my daughter and her husband are booked on Princess Plus, but my 2 grandchildren, the program didn't really have any value to them. They're in the same cabin with them. So my 2 grandchildren are booked at Princess Savers. So we can take care of it that way. But for passenger 1 and 2, yes, they both have to have the same program.
Okay. That certainly makes sense. Thank you. Another question, and of course, this is always I find an interesting question. When is the best time to book for 2021? And as a follow-up to that, is my deposit refundable?
Mm. Well, the best time to book is now. And the reason is, unfortunately, we had to cancel our 2021 season in Alaska due to world circumstances. And we had a great number of passengers that were already booked for 2020 that we are in the process of moving over to 2021. So I would say now, especially with the added incentive that you have offered of the $100 till May 22. Also, the Princess Savers and the Princess Plus program is going to be around all the time, but it's the capacity at the lodges. Our smallest ship in Alaska for next year will be 2,000 passengers. So it's not the capacity of the ship that will be in question. It's the capacity of the lodges. Remember I said the largest was Denali Princess with 650 rooms, the McKinley Princess only 400, the Kenai 86, Copper River 85. So it's the lodges and the availability on the land. So that's why I say book now. Also, the deposit is fully refundable. It's fully refundable, so no questions on, no issues on that. Up until final payment, which is 75 days.
Terrific. Thank you for that. Another question. Can you travel alone? Are there any solo travel options?
Unfortunately, none of our ships have single cabins on them, so it would be 2 times the rate.
Okay. That makes sense. Does the AAA land package and sea operate all season in 2021?
Yes.
Or are they just select dates?
Nope. The AAA tours 14 and 15 start operating next year, let's take a look here, May 11th, and run through September 8th. So there's on 2 different ships. So we've got no problems there. It runs throughout this whole season.
Perfect. And those dates are not out for 2022 yet, correct?
No, not yet. We're focusing on filling 2021.
Perfect. And another question, and I know this is an evolving answer, but there's a question talking about sanitary precautions shipboard and the lodges moving forward for next year. And I know on conference calls that I've been on, many of the cruise lines and vendors are certainly formulating and taking all of those procedures to the highest level. And I assume that's the case with Princess as well, Deb.
That is true, Brian. And the AAA advisors have a flyer on our health and safety requirements now. We're going to be doing enhanced health screenings at the terminals and elevated sanitation, sanitizer everywhere. And we're going to have enhanced medical protocols on board. So we realize that it's a concern. So I'd like to make sure that everybody got the flyer that we just put out.
Perfect. And so, yep, we're going to be doing follow-up with everybody, and we have those flyers not only on the north and south itineraries, but on the enhanced protocol and so forth. So a lot of good information. We're kind of at a pause momentarily, but travelers are resilient. We're going to get back stronger than ever, and Alaska is going to be at the top of many lists. So with that, I want to thank everybody. Really appreciate your time today, and want to remind you of the amenities with Princess, and then our additional $100 savings with booking by the 22nd of May. So all of our agents are working. We're not physically in our branches, as you know, but we're here all day, every day. Our agents are the most skilled with Princess and Alaska. So certainly ask any questions of them, reach out for an appointment. We can do virtual appointments, but to Debbie's point, now's the time to really book. So one, you got the vacation planned. You don't have to worry about availability, and you're set to go. So again, thank you everybody for participating today. And Deb, thank you so much for sharing all the wonders and beauties of Alaska.
No, thank you, Brian. It was a pleasure.
Have a great day, everybody. Thanks again.
You too. Bye-bye.